All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Woodwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
It's the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Woodwell, here inside the Stargate Media Studios with my guy, Trevor Tweedwell.
What's good?
Episode 321, that is correct. Episode 321, we're on a literal countdown. We're on a literal countdown to the NFL season, the 2025 NFL season. We're so stoked to be here with you guys, for you to be here with us. Whether you're live streaming, podcasting, or YouTube, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us at this time. We have a show that I think is going to open up some eyes, some ears, hopefully. You guys already have your ears open. Your eyes open too, so if you're watching this, you might as well use your eyes. But there's also something else we want you guys to do. If you guys have not already done it, go to our YouTube channel, the Spoken Podcast. Get in there, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, because if you're watching the show, you might as well be a part of what we're doing here. More so, get in the notifications. Every time we go live, you'll get that. Hit the like button. That always helps us out a lot. The biggest thing, the thing I'm asking to post that all of you guys have not already heard it a billion times already. We'd love for you to hit the comment button because we want you to be a part of the show, especially at this time of year, because we want to hear what you guys are thinking right now as the NFL season starts to gear up. That's the most exciting time for all of us football fans. We want to hear from you guys, whether it's a take you have, question, whatever it is you guys have, a concern, throw it in there. Let us know what you guys think. We already saw that Trevor mentioned before the show started. We already had people in the chat ready to go, gearing up. We had some of the regulars in there, so shout out to you guys for already being here. We know that you guys are here every single week, but if you're a new person, you heard about this show from somebody else, we want to thank you for being here. First of all, it's a Saturday. You guys can do anything and everything with your Saturday early morning or afternoon, but we appreciate you.
We're getting some comments saying that your volume's really low. They're not being able to hear you.
That's a problem.
Give us a second here, guys.
Yeah, I apologize.
Can you guys hear me at all? You guys getting any volume from me at all? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me at least.
Everything seems to be. I don't know what the issue would be, but testing 1, 2. Can you guys hear me good?
Give me thumbs up in the chat if that's better. Billy Hotch says perfect. Okay,
right,
we're
perfect.
good. We're good.
Yeah, well, that was just a little hurdle that we had to overcome, guys, because like I said, it is a Saturday. We've had a long week. It's been actually the weather got a little bit better here in Kansas City, so I think that this is a good momentum shift for us here in Kansas City, like I said. But regardless, I want to say thank you guys so much for already subscribing if you've already done it. But like I said, the YouTube side of things is where we want to focus the most. I had somebody message me the other day, said, Lance, do you see the comments when the show's going on? I said, dude, there's a lot of comments that go on. If you want to have your comments for sure be on the show, Trevor does as best he can, man, on the other side with as many comments that come through our show every single day. But if you get on the YouTube side of things, man, I promise you guys, we'll see that and be able to throw that on there. So be a part of the show. If you're already here, you might as well hang out with us. You might as well talk with us. It is a community-driven show. We don't want to talk at you. We want to talk with you. So go ahead, and if you feel like it, man, be a part of the show. We have an entire segment called Speak It that's right in the middle of our weekly show, where your questions, your comments, your concerns are are at the forefront, and we address those as authentically and honestly as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and get that going, guys. But Trev, I think I'm ready, man. I don't know about you, man. I don't know how your week's been, but dude, we're getting so close. We have a freaking preseason game next week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm stoked as hell. We already had the Pro Football Hall of Fame game this was a Thursday. So we got football now, man. It's like right here, and we are so close to our prediction show, which is what I'm most excited about. It's my favorite show of the year. How you doing, man? How you feeling about all this?
Outside of the Super Bowl show, it's usually
yeah, and that's an annual basis too.
Yeah. AFC Championship, Super Bowl games, Super Bowl shows. Those are the annual best show in my opinion. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm a little under the weather today. My allergies are kicking my ass. The weather has been nice, but the ups and whenever weather is kind of up and down, and it hits, drops 20-ish, 30-ish degrees sometimes. It can mess with me. And then the air pollution out here in KC, for those who are residential KC people, they know that that smoke from the California fires or whatever has been rolling its way through the land here, so it's been pretty thick. Today's better, but the last, yesterday was crazy. The last 2 days have been really thick, smoky kind of air, so it's been messing with me a little bit. But other than that, man, ready to talk some ball, ready for football season to kick off here, ready for some fantasy football, all the above. Ready to talk some ball on the show, man.
Absolutely, man. You and me both. I said that. I thought something was wrong with my eyeballs yesterday when I was looking outside and I saw like this haze. I'm like, do I got glaucoma? Like what?
I'm
what
like,
happened?
at first I was like, is there a
but-
chemical leak? Because we got a lot of like industrial shit going on around here.
man.
Like, is it something? I'm not going outside, bro.
Starting
I
to
mean, I
freak me
work
out.
outdoors, so I was like, man, I don't know. But yeah,
But we're here to talk sports. That's what we do here, all sports all the time. You guys know that's our little gift and little promise to you guys. So let's keep it on. Let's keep that trend going. Trevor, it is time for Lance Rants. Chiefs have made a decision to left tackle. Maybe not officially, but they have officially done it. Joshua Simmons is going to be the Chiefs left tackle starting week 1. I have made peace with this. And look, you guys know where I've stood on this since day one. When I saw the Chiefs draft Joshua Simmons, I told you guys on this show, and I've said all over the internet, that Joshua Simmons to me is a 2026 player. I said that I believe that Jalen Moore being the guy, the veteran, you dumb fuck.
you idiot.
Jalen Moore being that 5-year NFL veteran coming over from San Francisco who filled in for Trent Williams pretty well, I might add. Came over here, made real money with Kansas City, a 2-year, $21 million deal. I said it would be more responsible if the Chiefs eased Joshua Simmons into his career by allowing him to fully heal from the patellar tendon injury and then take over in 2026, and the Chiefs decide to do what they want to do with Jalen Moore afterwards.
Yeah.
That's not what the Chiefs are doing. It's very apparent. It is very obvious just at training camp alone that the Chiefs have every intention in mind of starting Joshua Simmons at left tackle. And I'm here to tell you guys that even though I still lean on the side of going with the veteran initially, and I'm going to explain my reason why in just a second, the Chiefs now are showing me and showing everybody else why we should be confident in what Joshua Simmons is already.
Yep.
First of all, the man looks insanely healthy. I don't know what kind of wizardry the Chiefs medical staff does. I don't get it. I don't know how they do it. I mean, they literally cured Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. The man should not have played in the postseason after that injury he suffered. And he ended up playing 2 more games at a very high level and winning the Chiefs the Super Bowl. What they're doing there is just something unreal. But credit to Joshua Simmons for taking all of his everything so seriously this offseason. You could tell he tapped in, he locked in, and became what he is in training camp. And the physical side of things, you could see what he is. If this dude, and it's true, I do believe this, had Joshua Simmons not got hurt last season, this dude doesn't make it out of the top 10 in the draft. He is the best left tackle in this draft.
Ruben Cruz says they got Mr. Miyagi in there.
I mean, literally, yes. By the way,
do some Reiki healing.
Go watch Red Trim Cinema where they went Clay made that video when Mahomes got a close eye.
Yeah.
Like that was the funniest video, dude. I was a part of that one. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's something magical this medical staff does, dude. It's just unreal. Or maybe they just follow the science. I digress. But the point is that Joshua Simmons seems to be almost as he's as healthy as I think any of us could have imagined him to be at this point, without question.
Those young bodies made of rubber.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and I want to play this video. This is courtesy of KCTV5. This is something that, and again, you guys know where I've been on this. Jalen Moore was the guy that I wanted to see start left tackle just to allow Josh to work his way in because, I want him to understand what the NFL is all about and understand that you got to have a certain attitude and demeanor also being a left tackle because you're kind of on an island in a way. You're going against these edge rushers a lot of times one-on-one. You're not a guard or a center where you're getting, help a lot of times. A lot of times you get one-on-ones, and you got to be a little nasty sometimes. This video tells me a lot about what Joshua Simmons is. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage, Trevor. If your nipples aren't hard right now, I don't know what's wrong with you. You may not have a pulse. That is, I know it's. I love the guy in the background. You hear the back guy go, "You're on the same team." I love that, like that fan that's in the background. It's so funny. Like you clearly don't get the situation. First of all, these dudes are out here practicing in 90+ degree weather with humidity. I mean, dude, the humidity this summer has just been stupid in Kansas City. It's been gross. It's been hard to breathe, and that's me walking. These dudes are out here training against other grown men, top tier athletes. Like the nastiness is going to happen already because the frustration is going to be set in just being out there in that gross heat, and you don't want to be out there playing in that. No one wants to be playing in that. I mean, there's a whole video of Kareem Hunt mic'd up this week talking about how much he hates this heat. He goes, "Man, I'm already sweating." He just like walked down the hill. Like that's what they're dealing with. But what this video showed me, and quite frankly, it shows me for Ashton Gelati too, the other rookie, both these rookie players give a shit. These guys are here for the right reasons. Sure, fighting all the time is ridiculous. You don't want to see that. But you want to see that, fuck you. I want, no, dude, you ain't hitting me, like I'm going to hit you right back. Like you want to see that dog in these dudes. I know that's a cliche now, or he's got that dog in him. No, Josh Simmons has that dog in him. He is showing you, and look, I have never been one.
He looks fit too, bro.
He looks insanely fit. Yeah. And look, there was a lot of panic in local media this week when Jeff Allen, former Chiefs offensive lineman, was asked a question this week about who does Joshua Simmons remind you of, and he straight up said he reminds me of Trent Williams. Now, obviously, that's like saying a basketball player reminds you of LeBron James. Like that is insanely high praise. About as high praise as it
gets.
Went
to the pinnacle, yeah.
Right. And you know, Cody Tapp from 6'10" or 96.5 now had like a full-blown panic attack on a show about that. But if you actually listen to what Jeff Allen was saying, he's saying that he reminds him of him. He's not saying he's going to be Trent Williams. That would be a different take. But see, I tend to agree. Not just because he's wearing the 71 jersey and he's nasty, it's because he's got that dog in him and he's got the skill set. Yeah, oftentimes it's one or the other. Bro. Yeah, oftentimes it's one or the other. You know what I mean? Like you see guys that are really good at playing tackle, but they're kind of like nice guys. You know, like they're not the dude that would do something like this. They kind of like turn their back and just walk away, which sometimes ain't a bad thing or anything like that. But when you have a dude that's got both, that's what separates them. That's what puts that fear in the defense of, oh, dude, I got to go against this dude. Holy shit. Like, I saw one of the guys from the Giants yesterday, one of the offensive linemen on the flip side, talking about Micah Parsons, and when he put in his trade request, that he was like, hell yeah, man, I wish you the best in the AFC. Like, joking, like, I don't want to deal with Micah Parsons. Yeah. On the flip side, you don't want to deal with guys like Trent Williams. And people are seeing that now in Joshua Simmons. I'm not saying he's going to become Trent Williams. More than likely, he won't. Because there's a reason why guys like Trent Williams exist, and who they are. They're the exception to everything. But if we're seeing traits that are similar to that, I now fully understand why the Chiefs are wanting to start him day one, because he's showing you the traits. I was a big Kingsley guy, still am, and I think he's going to succeed at left guard. But we didn't see traits like this in Kingsley Suamataia, and I'll be the first to admit that. We saw solid traits. We saw a guy that could be a good left tackle in this league for years. What we're seeing out of Joshua Simmons already is, this guy could be the best left tackle in football. That's what we're seeing out of Joshua Simmons. And that is why the Chiefs have no choice, in all actuality, of starting him immediately. They don't have a choice. Yeah. You invested a first-round pick in him, and this guy is showing you he is the dude. He's that dude. At least here so far in preseason, at least here in training camp. We obviously have a long way to go. And speaking of that, this is what I want also us to understand, because as excited as I am even now of conceding to the fact that the Chiefs are going to play him at left tackle week one, with all the excitement that should be around it because he looks incredible and he's probably going to be incredible, we also have to look at the fact that the Chiefs, and I'm not the guy that like looks at schedules and fears it. I don't, because like I always tell you guys, the Chiefs don't have hard schedules. The hard schedules get the Chiefs. Having said that, when you're a guy that's finding your feet literally in this league, you have to be conscientious and cautious about what they're taking on to start their careers. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at the first half of the schedule for the Chiefs this year. If you look at this, guys, you're looking at a series of teams that last season, and we are expecting this season, have some of the best pass rushes in the NFL. Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Jaguars, Lions, and even the Raiders with Max Crosby. There are some notable and, dare I say, elite pass rushers on several teams on this list right here. And you better believe they're going to try and test the rookie. You better believe they're going to give him everything they got. They're going to say, hey, we're going to give him a little coming of age type of situation.
Rite of passage,
Yeah, you better believe it. You don't think last season when Trey Hendrickson saw Quentin Kingsley lined up, he was, okay, I got a big dude here. I'm going to let him know what this is all about. And owned his ass. Yeah, exactly. This is what they do. This is what makes guys like him and Matthew Judon and guys like that great at what they do, is they show rookies what it's all about. You don't think these guys are going to be chomping at the bit trying to show a rookie what it's all about?
It reminds me of that Travis Kelce clip talking about Clay Matthews.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to play ball. That shit had me dying, bro. That shit was hilarious.
And he talked about like how he looked even more muscular in real life. Like, how the hell is that possible?
Like, I ain't fucking with you, little man. Who do you think you are? Hey, man, I thought we were playing ball. Bro, that shit was funny.
But that's what's going to happen here with Simmons, is that he's going to have an immediate test, dude. Like, not to mention the fact it's the divisional game out of the country in his first ever start. Like, there's so much that he's taking on. So I hope we're prepared to give him a little bit of leeway. The scary thing about that is you don't want to give a lot of leeway at left tackle. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, it's all right. He got Patrick Mahomes, cradled 19 times today. Who gives a shit? Like, no, that's not, we can't have that, obviously. And this is, again, to bring back my original conversation, why I said, let's let the veteran play first. Let's let him kind of take over for a little bit. When Josh Simmons is ready, he'll take over.
The plan's working out.
But the plan's, it's happening.
Ideally, you want the first round pick to be the dude.
Yeah.
And just so happens to be the case. We didn't think it. I know you said he was going to be a 2026 guy. But I mean, I'll take the early development. I'll take the head of schedule shit. I'm all about it, bro.
Absolutely.
Especially with him looking the way he is and out there throwing hands with defensive linemen.
Absolutely.
Trevor,
while you're watching these videos of him chucking around Ashton Gelati, by the way, there's multiple videos of him doing so. And according to multiple reports today at training camp as it's going on while we're doing the show, Simmons was getting into it with Leo Chenal today. Like, he is showing.
That's a mistake.
Well, I'm just saying, though, like, now he's going at veterans. I love
himself,
it.
Yeah.
I
John
love
Cena
that.
out there, yeah.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
Is that you're going at some of the dudes that are already proven entities on this team that have helped win Super Bowls, and they're on the other side.
Listen,
like,
if the guy's willing to fuck up his own teammates, good
saying,
luck,
bro.
ops.
That's what I'm saying.
Good luck,
dudes
ops.
that are going to make this team. Gelati's making the team. Chenal's making the team. Like, these aren't just like, the 78th dude on the team.
Ain't nobody
right now.
safe, man.
But you know what I'm saying, though. Like, dudes that we know, like, okay, more than likely, yeah, you're making the team. He's not doing that against, like, the fifth linebacker on the roster. He's doing this with dudes he knows.
Yeah.
You're going to be with me. We're going to be running mates going after, because this is what it's all about. Going after and winning Super Bowls. You got to have dudes like this. And the Chiefs have been missing this for so long. Trevor, this is the biggest reason why I'm so excited.
No.
The biggest reason is that Simmons is what we know Mahomes, or what we could be getting from Simmons. Let me backtrack here. I'm just so stoked about this whole situation.
Horny, yep.
Yeah, dude, I can't say that.
Yeah, blood flows.
Ice is all over down there. Dude, seeing Patrick Mahomes just with a competent left tackle, we saw maybe the greatest season a quarterback has ever had in totality. Look at the numbers here. This is what Patrick Mahomes did last time he had a starting left tackle, Orlando Brown Jr., a legitimate left tackle. I'm not talking about swing tackles like Wanye Morris. I'm talking about a legitimate starting left tackle. This is in 2022. The regular season, 67 completion percentage, 5,200 passing yards, 41 passing touchdowns, 105 passer rating, 358 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns, won the MVP, and set the single total yards record by a quarterback ever. Oh, and then in the postseason, I might cut off at the bottom of the screen, guys. Forgive me here, but just hear me out. He completed 5% better in the postseason, threw for 703 yards to 7 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, with a 115 quarterback rating, Super Bowl champ, and Super Bowl MVP. That is about as great of a season you will ever have. And again, you guys know I was an Orlando Brown guy, but Orlando Brown wasn't a top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left tackle in the league. Probably top 13, 14, solid average left tackle.
I'm getting that your sound's low again for some reason. Sorry to interrupt your rant,
You're
buddy.
good. I don't know what that's about, but I think we had a comment last week actually talking about how it was kind of cutting out. So maybe we're having just minor technical issues here. I apologize, guys, but hopefully I am going to get that.
Can you guys still hear me? Am I good? Because that's all that really matters here, honestly. Can you guys hear my voice?
We're all good here.
Yeah,
all right. Testing 1, 2. Am I good?
Are we good, guys? Thumbs up in the chat.
Are we good?
I apologize, guys, for this. This is the beauty of live streaming. We sometimes have issues like this, but
Okay, Billy Hodge says thank you, but I don't know if that means if that's a good thank you or.
let me know. Is it a good thank you or not, Bill?
Okay, so I'm good, but Billy Hodge is saying no, I think, to yours still. So hold on, guys. We got our guy Steve Williams in the chat, though. That's what's up. He says, what's up, my dudes? A couple of good-looking he-hims talking Chiefs football. Let's fucking go. I mean, it's accurate. There's nothing wrong with that. At least he got our pronouns right, bro. Like, that's all that matters.
Hey, ask Steve. I don't know if you can hear me or not. My
microphone's gone to shit. But
Ruben says you're in and out.
I'm in and out. What the hell is going on here?
I don't know.
All right. Let me know if that's working, guys, because I've done everything I possibly can to make this what it is.
But those
testing 1 2. Am I good, guys? Let me know.
Let us know, guys.
Yeah, I apologize for this, guys. It's
This is life and death. So let me know right now, or I will block all of you in the chat.
Let's Steve, you can hear me, man. Let me know if you guys made it to Kansas City all right. I know you guys are supposed to be in town today.
They're saying no.
Saying no, it's still not good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Trevor, take over, man. I'll work on this.
Well, yeah, as you guys can see, these stats here for Patrick Mahomes in the regular season and in the postseason when he has a left tackle there are absolutely outrageous. He was setting records in the NFL. So I think this is what Lance is trying to get to here is there's high hopes, especially if this kid can become the best left tackle that Patrick Mahomes has ever had. You know what I mean? Because he's had some decent play with obviously Orlando Brown probably being the best left tackle he ever had. Eric Fisher was a good left tackle. But if this kid becomes great, we have yet to have a great left tackle here in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. So in my opinion, if this kid can become, I mean, who knows? Maybe Patrick Mahomes' best seasons are still ahead of him. Because according to some people like, Big Ben, Roethlisberger, those guys like that, they think that Patrick Mahomes is now exiting his prime. The dude can just now become entering his prime, in my opinion, and I think that's the case. I think he's smack dab still in the early-ish stages of his prime. So, in my personal opinion, man, I think this is something for Chiefs Kingdom to really get excited about again. Because there's still great things. We've experienced the greatest feelings of our lives as Chiefs fans already. Better things could still be ahead. Maybe he doesn't throw for 5,550 again, but maybe his efficiency goes up. Maybe this defense continues to get better, and we find ways to, continue to build with Spagnuolo over here and Chris Jones' exit. And we still find a way to be better after Chris Jones is gone. The longevity of this dynasty, honestly, like I said, the best days could still be ahead. And that's something, man, that we haven't really tapped into or really think about because I feel like, we've experienced so much great high highs around here, but we haven't had too many lows. But, I mean, maybe there's new high highs that we haven't even tapped into yet. And I think that's what, with this Simmons hype that's going on right now. Granted, he hasn't played a single NFL game. He hasn't had live bullets yet. But if this kid can become a great, like I was talking about Eric Fisher, we've had good left tackles over here for short stints. But if he becomes a great left tackle and is the guy for Mahomes for the next decade plus, we could be experiencing things in the future that could top the things. I mean, I got a back-to-back flag behind me right here. That was the greatest experience as a Chiefs fan ever.
Right.
And we may never experience that again, but the consistency and the longevity is very promising if this kid can become a great left tackle.
Right. No, that's the thing is even while I was working on this over here, you're making all the points I was literally about to make is that it changes the trajectory, and hopefully my mic's good now.
Yep.
Let me know, guys, in the chat. I'm so sorry about that.
Sosa in the chat. Billy Hodge, that's better, Lance.
All right, awesome. Hopefully it stays that way because I don't know what the hell. I mean, what I need to do is go get the Chiefs medical staff to work on this, and maybe it'll be like even better. Maybe you'll get a better host, but. Yeah, it's the trajectory. It's what you saw Patrick Mahomes just do with a decent left tackle. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys weren't fans of Orlando Brown Jr. I disagree.
He's the best left tackle in the Mahomes era.
Yeah, well, at least since Eric Fisher, I would agree. Eric Fisher was better in early years. Like Eric Fisher, I think was overall probably a better player, but the injury and things like that, I think what it did is it showed that the Chiefs are going to have to upgrade. They're going to have to get better. And I know they liked Orlando Brown. They traded for him. They tried to pay him.
The point is they were both good left tackles.
Yes, exactly.
If we get a great...
This is why, Troy, I always try to tell people, obviously you want Patrick Mahomes to have all the weapons. It's great to have all the weapons. You want to have a plethora of dudes that Patrick Mahomes can find all over the field that can make plays with their feet, things like that.
Yeah.
We know that's how the Andy Reid offense works. But the protection is the most important part. I know our guy Clint Switzer hates when I talk about it on Arrowhead Allies. When I bring up offensive line, I am more obsessed with offensive line than weapons, because if you can keep your quarterback healthy, if you can keep him on his feet, they do what Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees have done.
Yeah.
Those guys, it's no coincidence that all those quarterbacks all have their best seasons when they have their best offensive lines. And what makes Patrick Mahomes so incredible is, even when he has had makeshift offensive lines, he continues to be great. That's the unbelievable part about it. My mic still good, by the way?
No. We got breaking news in the NBA, though.
Okay.
Luka Doncic and Lakers agreed to a 3-year, $165 million max extension with player option in 2028, according to Shams.
Love it.
Guy Luka got
the moment he got in
bro.
shape, what happens? You know what I mean? You knew the contract was coming down anyway.
Yeah,
we knew that. We'll talk more about
That's
that in a second.
money,
Yeah, thank you for the breaking news, though. But this, like I said, I bring up this season because the last 2 years, everyone's talked about, what the hell has happened to Patrick Mahomes? Why is he no longer, lighting up the scoreboard? Why is he no longer throwing these 70-yard bomb touchdowns? Like, what has happened to Patrick Mahomes? And I find that so just ignorant. I'm sorry, I have to say that, but there's so many shows and so many different people that have asked this question, have had full-fledged topics of this, and even my guy Nick Wright, who doesn't say those things or ask those questions, I feel like he's been missing the boat a little bit to explain this, is that it is simply the fact that he has not had the offensive line that he's been accustomed to. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady in the what was it, the 4-year run, 5-year run? I'm sorry, the last dynasty he had the exact same left tackle in every single one of those Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes in 5 Super Bowl appearances had 5 different left tackles. That shouldn't happen. This is why I said on Twitter the other day, and I made so many people mad about it, but I'd love for people to try to refute it with actual fact. I don't believe that any other quarterback in the history of the NFL could have led these last 2 Chiefs teams to the Super Bowl, given what he had to overcome. Given what he had just in the offensive line alone, let alone wide receiver injuries, running back injuries, things of that nature. So many moving parts, and he still led that team to the same game in back-to-back years. I don't know if any other quarterback can do that. Imagine Tom Brady behind that offensive line with Joe Tooney having to move to left tackle. Do you think they win? Do you think they beat the Eagles? No.
Yeah. Well, imagine Jalen Hurts.
You know what I'm saying?
The success that Jalen Hurts has had, a lot of it is contributed to
100%.
Attributed to that great offensive line he's had since he's been there.
And that's not a knock. That's contextualizing.
Yeah.
Is that you have to have protection as a quarterback in order to be great. Otherwise, you're going to have a very short career. You're going to be injured. You're going to be throwing a lot of turnovers, or all the above. And that's why I'm so excited about this, guys, because I think Josh Simmons provides that for Patrick Mahomes, and even more so in the fact that I think he's going to be the best version of left tackle that Patrick Mahomes has ever had. Because, guys, Patrick Mahomes is about to enter his 30s. These are supposed to be his prime years, right? These next 3 to 4 years. If he has the type of protection we're expecting from Joshua Simmons, then Patrick Mahomes is going to his prime's going to extend. That's why I told you guys all those years ago, in 2023, about why I wanted Travis Kelce to have some better weapons around him, because I wanted to see his prime be extended.
Yeah.
But because they didn't do that, and they didn't have better weapons around him, you saw Travis Kelce age progressively. You saw from 2023 to 2024, it looked like Travis Kelce aged 3 years. And he was still awesome in 2024, but he was nowhere near the player he was in 2023, because there was so much more on his 33-year-old body that he had to exude more energy and more time, and that aged him. I don't want to see that for Patrick Mahomes. I want to see Patrick Mahomes at 35 years old still throwing for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. The way that happens, the best way that happens, is that the Chiefs give him adequate protection. And now if you look at his offensive line right now, Josh Simmons is going to be 22. You look at Kingsley Suamataia, 22. Creed Humphrey, 26. Trey Smith, 26. And Juwan Taylor, 27. That is a very young and skilled offensive line.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the right side of the offensive line, what does this mean for Jalen Moore now that we know that the left tackle position's done? We know that Joshua Simmons, barring any injuries, is going to be the left tackle moving forward. What does this mean for Jalen Moore, the guy that was brought in initially to be the left tackle? We heard all the reports. Oh, they paid him. He's going to be the left tackle. All week long, though, we've heard speculation on this, and I've heard some interesting takes, but none more interesting than the one from Carrington Harrison from 965 The Fan this week. Go ahead and play that video.
Now, let's go over to the other side. The Chiefs are preparing to sit one of these two people. They are preparing to sit their big free agent acquisition or their second highest paid player on the team. Now, I'm not sure who's going to win the job. It's a competition. We'll see how things break down. We'll see who gets the reps in preseason. So we don't have that answer yet. But this is how I would break the tie if I'm the Chiefs. If they start Jalen Moore, they have the opportunity, if everybody is healthy, to start their offensive line for the next 2 seasons. Josh Simmons is locked in year 1 of a rookie contract. Kingsley 𝚂𝙾𝙳 is 2 years into a rookie deal. So you have 3 years counting this year of club control left on Kingsley 𝚂𝙾𝙳. You have just paid Creed Humphrey. You just paid Trey Smith. If you put Jalen Moore over at right tackle, you have your offensive line in place for at least the next 34 regular season games and however many you play in the postseason. The opportunity to do that would end any tie. Now, you've put yourself in this situation with Jawaan Taylor, and an argument that a lot of you guys make was it is a sunk cost. The Chiefs agree with you, and they are willing to count it as a loss, so to speak. But if there is any organization, if there's any fan base that I'm talking to that knows the importance of having a left tackle on the side or having somebody that you think can plug in a pinch, I mean, wouldn't it be the Kansas City Chiefs? So let's see what happens. Does Josh Simmons make all 17 starts this year? Does Jalen Moore make all 17 starts? I mean, history would suggest probably not because they play football and that's the way that injuries happen in this game. So be prepared. So I've been saying this entire time that we were talking about 3 guys for 2 spots. That's not the case anymore. It's 2 guys for 1 spot because one of them has already been cemented. It's Josh Simmons over on the left side. And now we are determining, is it a guy that is essentially on a 1-year deal? That's what Jawaan Taylor is on. He is on a 1-year deal where Jalen Moore is on a 2-year contract. He is a younger player, and he is somebody that you see a part of your future and your desire to move forward. That wouldn't make it much of a debate to me. I would start Jalen Moore if I'm the Chiefs, but let's see how they play it. Let's see what they do.
That again was courtesy of Carrington Harrison from Tribe 965, the fan, weekly sports show. First of all, thanks 𝚂𝙿 for taking the time from his pop culture games and Katie Bar Power Rankings segments that he does while hosting the sports show every week to squeeze in a few sports takes. But what the hell are we doing here? It's clearly late summer because we're just looking for something to discuss. If we're seriously suggesting that there's a real competition at right tackle, because I can assure you there's not. Jawaan Taylor is the most accomplished, experienced, and expensive offensive tackle the Chiefs have. 𝚂𝙿 even opened up by addressing the fact that Taylor's the second highest player on this team. Jalen Moore was signed to play left tackle because at that time the Chiefs didn't have one.
I think we're having mic issues again, buddy.
God damn it. All right. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm over here trying to make a point. I'm having issues again. But if you guys can hear what I'm saying, I'm gonna turn up. Trevor, you want to turn your mic off just for a second?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. It doesn't show it's picking up. Yeah, I apologize, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna have to fire my mic, guy. Testing 1 2. You guys hear me now? Okay, it looks like I'm picking up now.
You guys get some noise over there. Let us know.
Testing 1 2. Yep, it looks like it's picking up now.
Okay.
I don't know where it left off, but there is no real competition at right tackle because again, Jawaan Taylor is the most accomplished, experienced, and expensive offensive tackle this team has.
Yeah.
Again, 𝚂𝙿 himself in his opening discussion and conversation of this whole thing talks about how he is the second highest paid player on this team. Second highest paid player on this team. And the reason why Jalen Moore was brought to this team was because he was supposed to be the guy that played left tackle. Now, I'm not saying they looked at Jalen Moore as a long-term answer at left tackle. They obviously wanted Josh Simmons, but they probably didn't think he was going to fall that far down into the first round, even with his injury to be considered. Because everyone's sitting around going, how the hell did Josh Simmons fall that far? How did the Chiefs get him, even when they traded back 1 spot with the Eagles? The Chiefs had a right tackle the whole time. So this idea, so now with Simmons in the mix, taking over the left tackle as the first round pick, and he's clearly the best option at left tackle, at least so far at camp, Moore is not the player that we're looking at to say, okay, we got to start him somewhere else. To me, he's a guy without a home right now. Because, again, he was brought in here for a purpose, for a place, and that was left tackle. The Chiefs weren't looking around, scouring the offseason going, all right, who do we bring in to be competition for Jawaan Taylor?
Right.
Now, you could sit here and say, what about Jalen Moore being the guy that replaces Jawaan Taylor in 2026? That's more of a discussion I'm willing to have. But to sit here and talk about how there's any type of competition at all at the right tackle position is nonsense to me. He's the second highest paid player. He's been with this team now for 3 years, and he has been a consistent piece. Yes, he's had some false start problems, but I think that's a narrative that was also created by Chris Collinsworth. And I'm not trying to give Collinsworth too much credit, but it is the truth. Week 1 of Jawaan Taylor's career here in Kansas City, he was eviscerating him live in front of millions of different viewers, and the NFL paid attention to that. Meanwhile, guys like Lane Johnson are jumping every damn snap, and you don't see them getting the penalties that Jawaan Taylor gets. But I digress. The point is, Jawaan Taylor has been a solid, top-tier right tackle for this team since he's been here.
Our guy John Harrison chimes in and says, Moore has gotten time at left guard too. Andy has always said, start the best 5. Don't be shocked if Simmons, Taylor, and Moore all start. He can always kick out to tackle if needed.
Jalen Moore is not a guard. I understand he's talented. But see, I'm glad you said this, John, because I saw Jeff Schwartz, former Chief and current NFL analyst, he quote tweeted somebody from Chiefs camp, and he mentioned that Jalen Moore got those first-team reps at left guard, and they said that, this was Jeff Schwartz, he said they didn't pay him $15 million a season to sit the bench. Well, Jeff, if he doesn't win the left tackle position, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because you get a couple snaps here and there at left guard. That doesn't mean you're getting the position. That means the Chiefs are trying to find out where you fit in if someone's to get hurt. That's what I'm looking at from Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore was brought here to be the left tackle, and he's not beating out anybody at any position, and he's not going to unless there's some sort of injury. Kingsley Suamataia has gotten severely more snaps at left guard than anybody else.
I will say, though, to that point, we've talked about on the show several times about left tackles that have even gotten drafted, fairly early in the draft and didn't work out as a left tackle and ended up playing guard. I mean, I could see a guy like Jalen Moore maybe being that, or maybe falling into a similar situation like that. He's brought here to play left tackle as maybe an emergency if Simmons wasn't ready, but Simmons seemingly looks ready. And maybe, he could be one of those left tackles that we talked about on the show that have converted, the Mekhi Bectons and guys like that, become guards rather than their normal position.
I would agree with that 100% if it was a couple things. If Jalen Moore also got drafted this year and they found out, okay, his skill set doesn't really fit the tackle position. That's what happened with Kingsley, at least to this point.
Kingsley was drafted to be a left tackle.
Exactly.
As well,
yes. And they you know what? It's not working. He doesn't fit that mold.
Would you really be shocked, though, if he starts over Kingsley left guard?
Yeah, I would be. I would be because of the fact that Kingsley's a more talented player. He's a higher draft pick. And the Chiefs, I think, have more trust in him. Jalen Moore, again, was paid the money he was paid to play a certain position. And he's no longer that because of what? Not because he's not good enough, because somebody else is better than him. That's why he's not playing that position. So it's different if, Jalen Moore came in here and he's like, he doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the foot speed. We got to move him to guard. That's what happened with Kingsley. What's happening with his situation is, another guy came in and just better. That's what happened. Now, if let's say for the rest of training camp, we see, Trevor, that Jalen Moore is taking more first-team reps at guard than Kingsley, then we have a discussion. But because of the fact that he played a few snaps, I'm not sitting here changing my mind on who the starting left guard is. I think what happened was, again, they're spot-filling Jalen Moore to see where he could fit if there is an injury there. Do they rather play him there than C.J. Hansen or a Norzad or a guy like that? Would they rather Jalen Moore be that guy? That's what I think is happening. I don't think they're looking at it and going, I think Jalen Moore's going to be the left guard. I think he'll be the right tackle. I think it's a non-starter, literally, where we're looking at him and saying, he's got to play a position because he's making that kind of money. That's where I was at left tackle, and how'd that work out?
Yeah, it's not really even about the money for me. It's more about if he's just better than Kingsley. But
I'm saying Jeff Schwartz is making that argument. We didn't pay him that money to not play him.
Yeah,
he was paid to play left tackle, and they're not playing him there.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? Just because you lost out of a position doesn't mean that you automatically are entitled to another one. Mm-hmm. Because you might not be good there. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we know that Jalen Moore's good at left guard? Trevor, we don't even know if he's good at left tackle. We don't know. Like, we've never seen him play a full season. This is a fifth-year NFL veteran who's played 12 games in his career. This is a discussion you and I had months ago about, is Jalen Moore the right guy at left tackle before they even drafted Simmons? We've had these discussions. So the idea that Jalen Moore is just going to land at a starting gig somewhere on this offensive line just because he didn't get the left tackle position is nonsense to me. He's an expensive backup at this point, in my opinion. And quite frankly, I think in the Chiefs' opinion, he is. I think they view him right now as a backup. And that's a damn good problem to have, fellas, because that means your offensive line's damn good because you paid Jalen Moore real money. He does have upside to his credit. He is a 27-year-old veteran player who the 49ers had full trust in and full capability in to start with Trent Williams, and they didn't miss a beat. Yeah. He ain't Trent Williams, but their offense was still pretty damn good when he played. So I think it's a damn good problem to have when your offensive line has a guy like Jalen Moore backing up your tackles or your guards. That's the way I see it. Now, we did see this report, and I swear to God, if my mic goes out again, I'm going to chuck it across the room. But hopefully we got enough juice in this bad boy to get to this next topic because it's a very big one. It's a strong conversation that we have continued to have. But this time, guys, it isn't even coming from me and my speculation. It is coming from a guy who is connected in this league as anybody outside of Adam Schefter. Ian Rappaport was at Chiefs training camp a few days ago with Cody and Gold on 965 The Fan again. And this is what he had to say, and this is 𝚂𝙿 playing it on his show this week about what is the latest with Trent McDuffie and the potential of a contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's a complicated deal to do because I'm not saying he's a slot corner, but like he does play some there. And like what actually is he? Is he like a lockdown, shutdown corner like Patrick Surtain? Probably not. He's actually more versatile than that. But like what do you actually do with him and how do you value that is hard. I think he'll be highly paid. I hope they get it done, but I don't know. The Chiefs have been excellent at getting deals done. They have, when they want, they have always been able to do the deal, but these are tough ones. Whereas like Karlaftis was, they're all a challenge, but that was much more straightforward. What to do with McDuffie and how to value him is a little bit different. What I know, he's a very good player and he'll play for the Chiefs this year. Beyond that, it's really tough to guess.
I don't want to be the one to say anything. I'm letting Ian Rappaport be the one that reports it. But if you listen to those words and you listen to the way Ian Rappaport talked about that, I mean, the key phrases he was talking about because whenever we talk about a market, when we talk about players that are looking for money, like Micah Parsons right now, we all know the Cowboys are going to end up paying him. This is all posturing. He's not getting traded because even the Cowboys aren't stupid enough to do that. Micah Parsons is looking at his peers, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, guys like that are on that same level, or at least in the market aspect. And he's saying, I need to get paid like these guys. So the comparisons naturally come into play. You can make a legitimate comparison with Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett. You can make a legitimate comparison with Micah Parsons and TJ Watt. But did you notice what Ian Rappaport said in that clip? That he's not the same type of player that a Patrick Surtain is. He doesn't play the same type of cornerback. There are multiple styles of cornerback in this league, and the guys that are of Surtain's ilk are the ones that are making that kind of money. Now, Ian did say he is expecting McDuffie to make big money, but he said when it came to the Chiefs paying McDuffie, he said what? I hope they get it done. Isn't that interesting to hear that from a reporter? A reporter who's just simply there to just relay the news. For him to have a personal, man, I hope it happens. It kind of sounds like to me like he's saying that to kind of give the Chiefs fans a little bit of hope out there, to kind of relate to them in this aspect, because there's a lot of Chiefs fans out there that want to see a McDuffie extension take place. But the statements in this 45-second clip tells me everything that I've already been saying, and I hope that you guys are finally hearing it from somebody who is truly connected. I am just a fan, just like every single one of you guys, and a fan that just has an opinion. And I've been breaking this down for you guys for months now, actually over a year now, about the McDuffie situation. And now you've heard it from a dude who's saying it's going to be difficult. When you hear that word, when you hear the word difficult, when it comes to a team and a player between a contract extension, that's never a good thing to hear when it comes to the potential of it happening. We heard the same exact words, and I know that you guys are going to get pissed off when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. When we saw this last offseason with L'Jarius Sneed, about the difficulty the Chiefs are going to have because they had Chris Jones to pay, because they've never really paid cornerbacks before, because of L'Jarius Sneed's injuries. The Chiefs, if they don't want to pay a guy, because like he said even in that clip, they've always been really good at getting guys paid that they want to pay. If they don't want to pay a guy, they're going to find a reason good enough, justifiable enough to not pay them. And I think when you hear Rappaport saying these things that, again, he is just simply an echo chamber. Ian Rappaport's only saying what he's being told. When he hears the word difficult, that's because he's being told it's difficult. When he talks about the difference between a slot corner and a Patrick Surtain, that's because that's what he's been being told. These are the things the Chiefs are going to be bringing up in the discussions with Trent McDuffie as far as what they're going to pay him or what they want to pay him. Because I do believe at the end of everything, the Chiefs would like to keep Trent McDuffie. But I don't think they're looking at it and going, hey, Trent, we think in this city and on this team, you're worth what Sauce Gardner got. I know that Trent and his representation believe that. I know that a lot of people out there believe that. I don't believe the Chiefs do. I don't believe the Chiefs look at this and say, we need to pay Trent McDuffie $100+ million for the next 4 or 5 years because that's what he is to this team. He's not. I know that sucks to hear, and I've been trying to tell you guys this now, but now that we hear it from an actual accredited source, I hope this gets across to you guys now. Does that make sense to you, Trevor? Do you see it? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Because, again, hearing a guy like Ian Rappaport come to camp and say it's going to be difficult, he hopes they get it done. The Chiefs usually pay the guys they want to get paid. He knows that McDuffie's probably going to make some money, but he doesn't know if it's going to be in Kansas City. Like, what do you think initially when you hear stuff like that? Is it just more of the same? Or do you think, you know what, man, like, the fact that we finally have some news here about the Chiefs and McDuffie, that gives you maybe a glimmer of hope that maybe they get a deal done? Like, where are you at on it?
I don't think a deal's getting done, man. Personally, I feel like difficult is an understatement coming from, you know, these guys that are in the know, because I think it's that much more of, you know, and plus, like, you've harped on it for ages now on this show about McDuffie over the past couple seasons, just leading up to, you know, what you feel is the inevitable departure of him and getting what we can out of him because of the track record of what the Chiefs have done. You know, we pay the most important positions. You know, we pay the studs. We pay the Travis Kelce's, the Chris Joneses. We are going to pay Tyreek Hill. You know, we pay Patrick Mahomes. You pay your offensive line. Those are the things that teams are built to, at least successful for longevity purposes of, you know, legacy teams like the Chiefs are currently. So I think, you know, I think McDuffie's just simply the odd man out here, and you know, and to the positional skill set of what he is and how him compared to his peers. Schefter is right. I mean, this is something we've talked about on the show, something you've talked about numerous times when even I was, you know, kind of caping for McDuffie and keeping him here as a lifer. Right. Because I still would love to see that. I love what he brings for this team and what his skill set is, you know, going against deadly slot receivers. That's his specialty. Right. Right. And he's showcased that in big time moments. But when it comes to like your prototypical corner, you know, your true corner, lockdown island type of corner, which is a rarity in this league, he's just not that guy. That's not his skill set. Which is not a knock on him. That's just not what his skill set is.
Exactly.
And those are the kind of guys that typically, if you're going to pay a corner, that's the kind of corner you typically pay. Even then, I probably still wouldn't pay top tier money for a cornerback, kind of no matter who they are, if I'm being truly honest. Even a Patrick Surtain. If it came down to paying, you know, a great defensive lineman or Patrick Surtain to build my defense around, I'm picking the defensive lineman most of the time, even if he's slightly lesser of a player.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I love Trent, man. I think Trent is going to forever be embedded into the DNA of this, you know, this run that we've been experiencing. And the greatness of this run with the Mahomes era, looking back on it, you can't talk about this without Trent McDuffie.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, I just think this is business, and the business is what it is, and the money is what it is, and the market is what it is for him. And I want him to go get money. I want him to have that you know, generational wealth for him and his family and his future family. I just don't think that's going to be in Kansas City, man.
Yeah, and look, this is just me preparing you guys for what I believe is the inevitable. We're going to see a very similar situation where the Chiefs get 4 years out of a first-round pick. You hear whenever the language starts to come out, we'll hear, you know, they haven't been able to kind of, you know, bridge that gap between guaranteed dollars or years or whatever the case is. and you're going to hear that the Chiefs are going to be opening up for trade speculation. Maybe we don't even hear about it, because we didn't hear much about the L'Jarius Sneed stuff. And then the next thing we know, he gets shoved over to the Titans for a 3rd-round pick. Regardless of how it comes out, I do believe that's how it's going to go. Where we hear that the Chiefs and Trent McDuffie just cannot come to terms, and on his 5th-year option at $13.6 million, they probably either play him on that and then figure out a way to try to trade him later on, or they trade him after this season and get a haul in return, whether it's a 1st-round pick, a series of early picks. However it goes, we'll speculate that as the time goes on. But, guys, I hope that we are getting to that place of preparing ourselves for the last year of Trent McDuffie in a Kansas City uniform. That's okay, because I try to tell you guys these last couple weeks, the best years of McDuffie's career are going to be right now, from 2022 to 2025, 2026-ish. Those are his best seasons of his athletic prime. So if you're going to get the most out of a 1st-round pick, and you capitalize on it, you win multiple Super Bowls, if not more than that. Let's say the Chiefs win 3 Super Bowls with Trent McDuffie, right? And then you trade him? Is that not a great haul, a great return from what you used on getting him? A top 19 pick, a top 20 pick, and you won 3 Super Bowls with that guy, and you never had to pay him big money. Is that not the ideal scenario? Because what would you guys prefer? You guys win 2 to 3 Super Bowls with Trent McDuffie, and you trade him off. You get picks in return, and you continue to recycle this defense with those picks. Or you win 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Trent McDuffie, then you pay him an exorbitant amount of money, and he starts to decline, and you're still paying him tons of money, and you didn't get picks in return. And you got to be even more creative on how you continue to build a Super Bowl contender around Patrick Mahomes as he ages. I'd rather door number 1. And I understand that in Kansas City, we get loyal, and we're attached to our players. We love these guys. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, we have to look at this as a business, because that's what it is. And if we know anything about Clark Hunt, that man does not like to go to spend over the cap. That man does not like to spend real cash. That's why the Chris Jones extension was so rare. That's why it was so polarizing, because we don't see Clark Hunt do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to do that for a Trent McDuffie at that position. If he was an offensive lineman, if he was a linebacker, if he was an edge rusher, whatever the case is, yeah, I would see it happening. But it's not happening, guys, and I think that we need to get prepared for that. If Ian Rappaport would have said, no, sounds good, sounds like the Chiefs and him are having good conversations, we look to see this extension get done with a year or 2, I would sit here and be having a much different discussion with you guys. But if you go and play that back again and listen to what Rappaport said at Chiefs training camp, that does not sound like a guy that's close to getting a contract extension with the Chiefs. Could it change? Yes. I don't think it's going to. Trevor, let's get to the people, man. What are they asking? What are they talking about in the chat? What's going on in speaking?
Our guy in the chat, just before we get to the question, says, Javier Sosa says, nah, you pay Surtain. Yeah. How's that working out? Yeah, you can pay Surtain. That's fine. But teams that you pay big money to cornerbacks, we talked about this on the show ad nauseum. It typically doesn't work out for those kind of teams. So,
Trevor, I broke this down just last week.
Yeah.
The top 7 highest paid corners, what do all of them have in common? They all play on the outside exclusively, and they all play for non-Super Bowl contenders. Is that a coincidence?
It's not. Yeah. We only have a couple questions, or at least a few questions in here. So while I'm reading these and getting through these questions, if anybody who's live in the chat, get some more coming my way, I will definitely get to them. But before I get to those, I wanted to highlight a comment from our guy Justin Orton. He says, "Hey guys, in Branson with the family today. Have a great show, and I will catch it on the podcast." Appreciate you, Dustin, as always, man. One of our loyals in here. Appreciate you, bro. Enjoy Branson. I'll be out there in the fall time with my kids as well. So
shout out, man.
Love spending time out in Branson, bro. A lot to do out there. A lot of fun stuff to do out there for sure. But our guy, Cell32 Alt had a question earlier. I'm not sure if I'll be able to answer this or you, but he asks, thoughts on Spurs taking Suntan Harper over VJ? I was watching back some summer league with already having Fox, they could have added a wing guy to fill the rotation instead of another guard. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't keep up with the Spurs too much to know how to answer that question on who their draft picks would be a better fit for their rotation right now. This just not a big Spurs guy, and I'm not paying too much attention to the NBA at the moment. So I don't really have an answer for you. I don't know if you have an answer for you, but I don't know too much about Suntan Harper.
Suntan Lotion, is that his name?
Suntan Harper. I don't know. I'm guessing that's a nickname. I don't know, but yeah, bro. Cell 32. I'm sorry, bro. I don't have don't have an answer for you there.
No, we'll be honest with you when we don't, bro. So you might have to educate us on that.
Yeah.
Let us know what your thoughts are on that situation. I know you kind of briefly did, but if you have anything you want to expand on, feel free to cook on it, man. Let us know what you are expecting out of that pick, because it sounds to me like you're not approving of it, if you will. So let us know. Educate us.
Haven't paid too much attention to the Spurs in any kind of magnitude since my guy Manu Ginobili exited the league. But yeah, he follows that up with another question though that I believe we can answer. Speak it. Royals look like they're starting to get on a roll. Just traded Fermin for some pitchers. So you think they can make a playoff push?
I do. They're only, I think, if I'm not mistaken, last I checked, 3.5 games out of the wild card. Fermin, man, shout out to him, dude. He's like one of those salt of the earth guys, because he won that award, and I'm so sorry I forget what the name is, but it's one of those, it's awards they give out every year for the guy that is doing his best to learn English, because I know how much of a language barrier it can be sometimes being in America and not knowing English. He's one of those guys. His English has gotten really good. He's also a really good player and just a great guy. Everybody loves him. It's sad to see him go, but I understand why the Royals did it. The Royals, man, I ain't gonna lie, they had one of the best trade deadline series of acquisitions I've ever seen this franchise have. The way they got players that had club control, they got pitchers, they got a veteran batter named Yastrzemski. Yes, that is Carl Yastrzemski's grandson, by the way. The situational players they got in this tells me this team is in. Like they're not done with the season like the freaking Twins, where they just literally traded off everyone. It was a freaking fire sale.
Dump the roster.
I mean, yeah, absolutely just put gasoline on everything. The Royals are showing that they're leaning in on it. And I like that attitude because, yeah, they may not make the playoffs, but they're giving their fans something to root for, man. Because you know what? If they just sat on their ass and didn't do anything during the trade deadline, guess what happens? Everything just transitions to the Chiefs. The Royals become irrelevant in their own city automatically. And I love the fact that they're leaning in, because this is not what the Royals have been known to do. They've been known to be cheap and safe, and, well, let's just look into next year and the year after that. Man, fuck that. Go after it. You have a chance to make the playoffs. You may not win a World Series, and you probably won't. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Royals aren't. But you know what? You're giving your fan base something to root for into September. I mean, we're in the early stages of August, and we're talking about a team that's going after a playoff run. Going after the playoffs, and they made some unpopular moves. Fermin was a guy that everybody liked, but it had to happen. You had value that other teams wanted, and you make that move. And I'm happy for him moving forward. I'm happy for the Royals moving forward, because it shows me that they have an aggressive mentality and people that are running the show that are aggressive. I like that. I like aggression. That's why one of my favorite things about Brett Veach is he made as soon as he became the Chiefs GM, made some aggressive moves. I love that. I respect that. I want to see more of that. So hopefully Piccolo and John Sherman and guys like that open up the purse and allow this team to cook, man, and start bringing in some real talent. And I think they did during the trade deadline. I think it's a really good move, and I think because of these moves, the Royals will squeak into the postseason.
I like it. I mean, that's all you can ask for as a Royals fan right
100%.
now. It's a change of culture. That's what we had to kind of go through with the Chiefs. You know, there had to be a little bit of a cleansing of the old mindset, of the old regime, of the old ways, the old culture. We had to bring a whole new culture over here, and it was a baby step kind of thing. You know, we endured the Alex Smith, but the Alex Smith stuff was there for a reason. It was the steps in the right direction,
right?
And it was actual moves being made for the betterment of the team and the franchise, and that's what the Royals are doing, especially with the new ownership. And yeah, man, I think there's bright days ahead for this Royals new regime for sure, especially new stadium looming, all that stuff. A lot of fresh new things coming to the city for this team, so it's exciting for sure.
Absolutely.
And this city's always better when the Royals are great. Billy Hodge, do you think the Chiefs, I feel like we get this question every week, but I love it. Do you think the Chiefs should go get a veteran wide receiver, or should they wait on Rice's suspension? I don't trust Hollywood staying healthy, and I don't want to wear out Kelsey before the playoffs.
Well, you guys know with information and it changing, my opinion will change with it. I told you guys just last week that I don't think the Chiefs need to go and make a wide receiver acquisition. I think it's more of a want than a need. But Billy makes some very valid points here, because we don't know the extents of Rashee Rice's suspension. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know how long it's going to be. We don't know anything right now other than it's going to happen. That alone is a concern. And yes, Hollywood Brown's already been dealing with the ankle injury, and we saw Xavier Worthy deal with a little bit of a concussion protocol, but he's already back in practice. Hollywood Brown's back in practice. So they did dodge some bullets there. But the point is valid that Hollywood Brown does have issues with staying on the football field. And if you're seeing now the Chargers are close to signing a deal with reuniting with Keenan Allen. Yep. There's still Amari Cooper out there. I believe Gabe Davis is still available. Those guys are sticking around because they want to play for contenders. I tried to explain this to Carrington Harrison several weeks ago on his show. He kept telling me, well, it's July. Why are these guys not available? That's because they're veterans and they don't want to go to training camp and they don't want to play for a shit team. They could have signed with probably 3 or 4 bad teams early on. They'd be willing to pay them, but they're not looking for that. They want to try to win a Super Bowl. That's why those guys are still out there. And what do you know? Keenan Allen's now linked to a team that is a playoff contender, and he probably will sign with that team. That's what I think the Chiefs are probably looking at right now.
Yes, every year.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are going to go and trade for Terry McLaurin. I would love that, but that's not going to happen. Because you know why that's not going to happen, Trevor? He's 30, and he wants money. Those are 2 things the Chiefs are not willing to give out. So
I think there was news, and Max Wasson in the chat, for that Amari Cooper did retire.
He retired. Okay, well, then that's why he didn't.
I don't think that's been truly confirmed yet.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I saw this morning when there was some rumblings that he's retiring.
That's fair. And that could have been why he was mulling it over. He's like, look, this is my market, or I could walk away. I've made money. I've had good success. I don't want to play anymore. That's also a part of it. You know what I mean? So if Amari Cooper retired, then congratulations to the successful career he had.
We got Tyquan Thornton, so
don't do this to me right now, please. Because all you're going to do
is
don't
need a veteran.
You're gonna amplify the people, Trevor, that did the same thing with Louis Zammit and Carson Steele and Justin Ross. And no offense to those guys, but they're camp darlings, guys. Like, this is why I don't spend a lot of time talking about them on the show. Now, there are shows out there that are far more detailed than ours. Like our guys, shout out to All Chiefed Up and Chief Concerns. They will break that stuff down with Tyquan Thornton. They will break that stuff down with Carson Steele. I'm not doing that because I'm not good enough at this position to break down guys that, in my opinion, will never make an impact on this team. I'm just being brutally honest with you. Like Mike and Steve are so much better at that stuff. Marcus and JD are so much better at that stuff. I'm not good enough to sit here and break down to you guys a dude that's on this team that will never make an impact. I'm just not. So I'm not going to do it. And so guys like Tyquan Thornton, I don't believe is ever going to make a single ounce of impact on this team. I don't think he makes the team.
Billy Hawk says Cooper has not retired.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We'll see.
There were rumblings though that it's kind of circulating. It's a lot of it's speculative.
He's 32, so I mean, it makes sense.
There's smoke, there's fire.
Sure, I mean, maybe he has put he's putting that out there because if there's teams that are interested, go, hey, whoa, don't retire. Do we want you?
I feel like that would hurt because that would make him more probably of a discount. Like, hey, dude, you were going to retire. We're going to throw you a milli.
But maybe money isn't what he's looking for. Maybe he's like, I want to play for the freaking Chiefs. I want to play for the Ravens. I want to play. Yeah, I want to play for the Eagles. You know, like there's teams out there that need. Like, look at the 49ers. If I'm the 49ers, I sign Amari Cooper right now.
Sure.
Dude, they got Ricky Pearsall, and they got an injury-prone...
A Vikings team?
Oh, yeah.
Justin Jefferson's already dealing with injuries.
And what's his name?
Addison's already going to be missing games.
Yeah, those are right there.
Yeah.
2 teams that Amari Cooper could play for right now.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right, Trevor. They might say, hey, we're not paying you shit. He goes, okay. Yeah. That dude's made over $100 million
I'll
in
play
his
for
career.
free.
Yeah.
I just want
to give me some
Snickers.
Snickers. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm saying, like, Amari Cooper's made over $100 million in his career. I'm sure money isn't what he's looking for. Would he take it? Hell yeah. I'm sure he'll take money. But if he's like, dude, I want to win a Super Bowl before I retire, Vikings, Chiefs, the 49ers, teams like that are who he's probably gauging towards.
Billy Hawk says he's been linked to the Chargers. I mean, everybody's linked to the Chargers.
We're hearing that about Keenan Allen, too. It looks like Keenan Allen's probably going to sign with the Chargers, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's how that's going to go. But
that's worked out for him in his career.
But that's what we're looking at when it comes to those veteran guys. I don't know who the Chiefs will bring in. I think there's a chance they do. I don't think it's going to be a trade. I don't think it's what they'll probably do is wait for some roster cuts. I think when you start seeing some of those cuts to get down to the 53, maybe there's a guy on another team they've been eyeing for a while. They're kind of keeping it secretive. Hey, if he gets cut, we're hearing there's rumblings he might get cut. Maybe we'll go get him. There's always those options. But I think the guys that are going to make real impact in this offense at wide receiver are already here.
What if the Chiefs trade Trent McDuffie and package something together to get Terry McLaurin out of that? Terry McLaurin and picks.
The reason why I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't want to sound like I'm just trying to repeat myself.
Terry McLaurin is aging too.
He is 30.
Right. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying.
He's looking for a long. Yeah, he's looking for a long-term deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to shock you right now. I wouldn't make that trade.
I wouldn't either.
I'd keep Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, I would too.
Because if McLaurin
has another All-Pro season this year, and you can get so much for him next season, dude.
Right. Yeah. And let's be real. McDuffie this season is more valuable than McLaurin on this team.
Yeah.
I think he's more valuable on this team because there are about 2 or 3 guys on this team that are just as good, or not just as good, but are good enough receivers to compete with McLaurin. McDuffie's the best corner the Chiefs have.
There's still several question marks on this defensive line in particular this season for this Chiefs team that we still can't trust a lot of these youngsters on this defensive line.
Right.
Which they definitely could work out, and it could be a major plus.
Yeah.
But having a veteran in that back there playing this position at an elite level is something you want to hold on to, especially this season, especially with the bounce back revenge kind of mindset I think this Chiefs team has this year. You keep guys like that, and bringing in Terry McLaurin would be a nice asset to the offense, but not a necessary move to be made right now.
You know that I'm on the side of trading Trent McDuffie, but there's context to the kind of trade I'm looking for. I'm not looking for Trent McDuffie to be traded for a return of a veteran player.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Trent McDuffie to get traded for a first-round pick. Yeah. I'm looking for Trent McDuffie to get traded for a couple 2s and a 5. Like that's what I'm looking at. I want trades like that. Yeah, I want trades like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where
I would take that over a first.
Well, I mean, we could definitely talk about that one day. But I'm saying like the point is, I want to see Veach get a chance to rehaul this roster again with more youth because he's already been doing that every single year. I want to see that continue because that's how you keep a Super Bowl contender rolling. You notice the teams. There's a reason why dynasties don't last, and there's a reason why there's not a lot of dynasties because teams get caught up in their own shit and start paying guys they shouldn't pay and having older, expensive players. Yeah. The reason why the Chiefs continue to win like they have is because, one, they have the best quarterback we've ever seen with maybe the best coach we've ever seen, and they have a rolling door of youth. They continue to roll youth in there, inexpensive youth. That is what they have to do with Trent McDuffie. They have to get the most out of him and then trade him away and get more picks out of that as opposed to pay him, and then you're paying him, Nick Bolton, Chris Jones, all these other defensive players starts to add up, and then you're like, oh shit, this team just got old overnight with George Karlaftis' contract as well, and then you're paying your entire offensive line, and you're paying Patrick Mahomes, and now you got to pay Rashee Rice, and now you got to pay Xavier Worthy. Like all of a sudden this team gets expensive and old real fast. Yeah. You don't want that. The way to do that is you got to stay cheap somewhere, and you got to keep trading guys away. That's how the Chiefs are done in a cornerback. That's how I think they will continue to do so. And I think that, like I said, if this was an offer on the table, I would decline it only because, like I said, the age and the money expenditures that McLaurin is looking for. The Chiefs are not a team suitable for that. That's why I shot that down with Micah Parsons as well. Obviously, I'd love that. But when people are like, oh, the Chiefs should trade for Micah Parsons, do you guys realize how many picks the Cowboys would demand in return for Micah Parsons? And do you imagine the kind of contract that Micah Parsons is going to attract?
Yeah, our guy Bubba BB says, I'm trading Karlaftis and a first for Micah Parsons. Not guys, that gets it done, though. That's not enough, guys.
Guys, the Chiefs would have to trade by the way, the Chiefs can't trade Karlaftis now because they're paying him that huge contract. The cap hits they would have is stupid.
Right.
But you'd have to trade Karlaftis and several firsts. I'm talking like an additional 3 first-round picks to just get in the door with Micah Parsons. And then, by the way, once you trade your cap hit hell of Karlaftis now and 3 first-round picks, now you got to pay Micah Parsons $44 million a year.
Yeah.
That's not happening, guys. The Chiefs aren't a desperate enough team anyway. So that's why I told you guys, there's a 0% chance that Parsons gets traded. 0. It will not. I'm guaranteeing you it will not happen. He is going to be a Cowboy for the foreseeable future, and you're going to see that 5-year, $240 million deal. And I'm not kidding when I say that. It's going to be a massive, massive deal that Micah Parsons is going to get. Not only because he deserves it, because the Cowboys put themselves in this situation. Because they waited and waited and waited and waited. And everyone's like, well, Lance, he demanded a trade. Micah Parsons demanded a trade. Yeah, so did Lamar Jackson. So did Myles Garrett, TJ Watt unofficially. I mean, I can go down a list of guys just recently. Even on the Cowboys. We saw last offseason, Dak Prescott said, I don't listen to what Jerry Jones says. He said it about his own owner. And then what happened a couple weeks later? Dak Prescott got a record-breaking deal. Mm-hmm. And then look at CeeDee Lamb. All that shit he was going through with the Cowboys. What happened? Got a record-breaking deal.
Well deserved.
That's exactly what's going to happen in this situation. We're going to see Micah Parsons agree to a humongous fucking deal because money always talks. Myles Garrett just a few months ago was saying, I want to thank the Browns fans, all this stuff. I'm parting ways with the team. And then like a week later, signed that humongous deal.
Yeah, this is why I'm not buying the Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier, huh?
Yeah, the McLaurin news. Yeah, I mean, our guys sell 32 asked that question. That's why I was going to get to it because it falls right in line with what we're talking about. Just the Terry move the needle for the Chargers if traded there. At the end of the day, I feel like he's going to stay in Washington. I feel like they're going to work it out. I think because they have a rookie quarterback who's one of the probably going to be a top 5 quarterback this season, and keeping his number 1 target, who he unlocked last year, had his best statistical year with Jaden Daniels at the helm. I think they bite the bullet a little bit here and pay the veteran receiver and figure out a deal. I don't think he go. I just think it makes too much sense for them to pay him and keep him there. Granted, he is aging, but he just had an incredible season last year. I think he deserves money, man. He's been put through the ringer over there. They've had so many different coordinators. He had a different quarterback damn near every season. You know, it's been a roll. It's been just a circus over there for him throughout his career there, and he stuck it out with them and hung it out with them. So I think he ends up staying there. I think it's the best move for him in his career, honestly, right now, to stay with this young kid who could be the MVP next season. Right. He's great. So I think they figure it out. But if him going to the Chargers, obviously that's a massive move for the Chargers if they're able to figure that out and get the veteran Keenan Allen over there. That'd be that'd be a big move for the Chargers. But I don't foresee that happening though.
There are far more opportunities for McLaurin, as crazy as this sounds. There are far more opportunities out there for McLaurin to get traded than Micah Parsons. Because like I said, when you have to consider how much you have to give up and how much you have to pay, it's not realistic. Yeah. I mean, list the teams right now for Trevor that could legitimately pull off a Micah Parsons trade and then pay him. How many teams? I had buddies yesterday telling me, oh, no, he's getting traded. Oh, okay. Tell me the teams. Show me the teams that have the cap situation and the cash situation with owners that are not cheap asses that are also willing to part with 3 to 4 first-round picks. Because the Khalil Mack trade, the reason that stands out so much is because it was stupid as shit. It was the stupidest trade.
Yeah.
You don't trade 27-year-old elite edge rushers. That is stupid.
I'm glad they did it.
Oh, absolutely, but it was the stupidest trade. Yeah. It made no sense. Oh, and what did the Raiders do with all those picks? Jack shit. They did nothing with those picks. So don't do it, is what I'm saying with the Cowboys. And the Cowboys aren't stupid enough to do it, and they are stupid. They're a stupid franchise. Jerry Jones is a moron. But he is also a genius in the fact that he knows how to keep his team in the freaking mix. And when all this is done and Micah Parsons gets his deal, we're all going to sit here and go, oh, we got had again. Exactly. We're just feeding right into it. But I saw CeeDee Lamb, I saw Dak Prescott, and now we're about to watch Micah Parsons do the same damn thing. And it's it's the Cowboys to lose in all this because all they're doing now is shelving out more money to a guy they were going to sign anyway. Why did you wait? Just pay him. You idiots! Like, what are you waiting for? There have been 12 guys from Micah Parsons' team or draft class that have already gotten extensions. Yeah. 12!
If you're going to be an annual first-round bounce, at least look good doing it.
I mean, dude, think about it. You really think there's 2 or 3 players better than Micah Parsons in his own draft class?
Absolutely not.
No, but 12 of them have already gotten deals. And he's still sitting here. Like, no wonder he's pissed. I believe he's genuinely pissed. But he's going to get his deal, and it's going to be in Dallas. He is not getting moved.
I agree. Our guy John Harrison says, did you guys hear Worthy didn't have a concussion? He had fluid in his ear area causing balance issues. So although protocol wasn't concussion.
Yeah, he was in concussion protocol. I apologize if I didn't say that correctly because there was no report of him actually suffering a concussion. Right. I saw my guy, I like him a lot, but he's a doctor on Twitter. He said that he's had a concussion. I said, no, that's not true. There's been no reports of that. And I don't want to report that either. He was under concussion protocol, and I'm glad he didn't suffer a concussion, and he's had some balancing issues, but
equilibrium, little vertigo action going on. Self32 Alt says, how y'all feel about a veteran addition on the D-line like we had with Ingram and Dunlap? In my opinion, there's no reason not to bring in Zadarius Smith right now.
I don't know what the situation with Zadarius Smith right now. I do know he's old.
I feel like that's something that if these youngsters on this D-line really, really looking bad in the first few weeks of this season.
Yeah.
Come week 5, 6, before the deadline, maybe not even a trade, but acquiring, a Zadarius Smith if he's still out there. Or some of these guys. There's always guys lingering out there. So that's where I'm at. I don't think it makes much sense. I think we have a lot of promise on this defensive line right now. I think the upside is crazy. So I think maybe letting that play out a little bit.
And the question you have to ask yourself too is, does Zadarius Smith fit the scheme? Because there's also that.
Yeah.
I think what happens a lot of times, Trevor, is that people do the NBA thing where they think that you just put a guy on a team and he's just going to work.
Yeah.
Man, there are schemes in defense. There's schemes in offense. And sometimes those dudes just don't fit it. So maybe the Chiefs aren't interested. You ever think about that? Like, there's some guys they just pass on, even though they're really good players. It's like, is he really worth bringing in and paying X amount of dollars for, and having him take the position of another guy that actually fits the scheme? Like, that guy may not be as good as him, but he fits our scheme.
Yeah, you go find your Shane Battier, Mike Miller kind of guys. Yeah, for sure. They're
role players, solid role players. Yes, and if Za'Darius doesn't fit the scheme, maybe that's the case, or maybe he fits the scheme, but he's asking too much money. You know what I mean? Like, or he's demanding too much of the Chiefs. Like, well, bro, like, we don't need you. We're trying to bring you in as that, that mentor, that older player that can play a role, but maybe he doesn't want to be that guy. Maybe he still thinks he's the dude. It's like, okay, well, then best of luck to you elsewhere. There's a lot of different scenarios that are playing out right now.
And that is it for the questions, man.
Hey, that's good with me, man. That's good time. Like I said, people are busy. We even had our guy Dustin Orton chime in and said that he was busy today, and we appreciate that. And he's going to listen on later. I apologize, guys, for the audio problems. I don't know what the hell that's all about. I'm gonna get to work on it when the show's over. I apologize for that. Hopefully, it's been better since then, and that we'll continue to move forward. Because I'm so big on quality. I don't want to give you guys a shit show. I want to give you guys quality in every regard, especially in audio, because I know audio matters big time when it comes to attention spans and things like that. So I do sincerely apologize for that, man. So we'll get to cracking on that later on. But in the meantime, thanks again, guys. If you've not already done it, go to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, hit notify, hit like, share, all those buttons. They very much help us out a lot. But we love it when you guys get in the comments, man. It's so much fun to be able to interact with you guys, because let's be real, man. We probably wouldn't know each other otherwise. If we didn't do this show and we didn't talk amongst ourselves, we'd have no connections. And I take that seriously, dude. So I appreciate every single one of you guys that joins us live, joins us later on, even when you don't have a chance to join us live. The fact that you guys support us at all and you guys want to be a part of this at all means the world to me. So thank you guys so much ahead of time. But Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called? Hold this L. Each and every episode, we finish off every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports, we promise you, who's ever holding those L's in the world of sports deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor Twidwell, who's holding up for you this week?
All right, so I don't ever really give much credence or much time or attention or really any kind of respect to these things like personal rankings or personal people's top 10. But every year, I think the players tend to definitely take this more seriously than fans. Maybe not. Maybe it's pretty equal. But Madden ratings mean things to some people. Not really to me, but I did want to give this one some time of day here for L purposes. The Madden ratings came out as far as the top 10 QBs rankings wise. There's two guys in the quarterback world that are in the 99 club this for Madden 26. Those two quarterbacks are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. No one thinks either one of those quarterbacks are better than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, anyone with brain cells.
At least outside of the talking head contrarian, paid contrarians on TV. Some may want to say statistically these guys are better than Patrick Mahomes. But they have 0 Super Bowl rings combined. 0 success against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs combined. 0 wins. Third on that list at 97 overall is Joe Burrow, who's missed the playoffs back-to-back seasons. Threw a lot of touchdowns, fun to watch. 97. And then we got Patrick Mahomes falling into the 4th spot at 95 overall. Just went to his 3rd straight Super Bowl. And then the list completes itself with Matthew Stafford, respectable. Good spot for Matthew Stafford. Yeah. I like that. Jared Goff, disagree. I think Jalen Hurts should be above him because Jalen Hurts falls behind him. But Jared Goff's a good quarterback in this league. Get it. He's been a part of a good team, good systems his whole career. Jalen Hurts just won the goddamn Super Bowl, though, against Patrick Mahomes, which is enough to, I think, put him above Jared Goff, in my opinion. But then Justin Herbert at number 8. Baker Mayfield follows him up, and then Jay Daniels. I like him in the top 10 there. Either way, I don't care too much about this, but this one just irked me a little bit because I just don't understand. What are we doing this off of? How are we making these rankings? How are we making these ratings on Madden? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? And A lot of this is opinion. A lot of this is simply just based off stats. But if you want to go off stats, I don't understand how Patrick Mahomes is still sitting at the 4th spot. You know what I mean? I just don't. Granted, it's video games. I don't really play video games. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of this gets under a lot of people's skin, and it kind of got to me this time around. For I think the obvious, Patrick Mahomes being the quarterback that just went to his 3rd straight Super Bowl, looking at going to a 4th straight possibly, and I think the odds of him making it back to the Super Bowl over the guys that are rated above him are far more likely. But yet he's sitting below these men for some reason, because one of the 3 guys above him beat him one time in the postseason. The other 2 are goose eggs.
Right.
I guess that doesn't matter in the ratings because one guy can maybe run faster. Maybe one of the guys is bigger and stronger or could throw farther. I don't know, man. I just don't. This is why I don't get caught up in this stuff, just because I don't know what we're basing this off of.
Right.
It's not reality. I know that. But whoever put this game together, whoever, did the math, I guess you will, if that's what you want to call it, to create these ratings on Madden. Yeah. Do me a solid favor here and
hold this L.
Not much more to add to that.
They don't do Madden ratings for coaches. But I feel like there's, I don't know, common sense to be had when it comes to what makes a great coach and who the greatest coaches are. And I feel like anybody that, like I said, when Trevor was talking about the quarterback rankings, anybody that has brain cells that are actively moving in their bodies can have an honest conversation and say that, well, Andy Reid's the best coach of football for a lot of reasons. But I think everybody would agree, that a consensus would agree that he is the best coach in football. That wasn't, of course, until my guy from First Things First, Kevin Wildes, decided to attempt to make a take, I dare I say a hot take, and that's not really what this show is known for. They're actually one of the shows, and the reason why I think they're so successful is because they don't really go that way. So I think it was unintentional that he made a hot take, but this was what Kevin Wildes said this week on First Things First, and I'll react to it afterwards.
I'm willing to say it's obvious when I saw them play, and one guy, the score was, what was the score at half?
Hold on, can I ask a question then?
I'm not ready to say Nick Sirianni, who's been to two Super Bowls, and they just played a Super Bowl, and who could have had a better coaching job?
Hold on, wait.
I would probably go with Andy.
I mean, hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Andy Reid. I'm just
saying not obvious.
No,
it's an argument to make. Andy Reid's
obvious. Yeah, I mean,
first of all, it's not obvious. You can't say it's obvious when they have coached against each other.
But so hold on, this is the question that I'm asking.
Okay.
Is that every? Because it feels like that's the argument you make for everyone on the Eagles against everyone they win against. Is that in this instance? So is that? I'm just curious if that's just across the board how it works.
Well, I will say this. Since Sirianni has been a head coach, he has won a higher percentage of games than Andy Reid has.
No, well, let's show. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this.
Since Sirianni was the coach.
Right. Since Sirianni.
It's not outrageous. In fact, what's outrageous is we saw the Super Bowl. You talked all year about a dynasty. A guy and a quarterback came in here and demolished the Kansas City Chiefs. But all of a sudden, there's no consequences to anyone's reputation. Patrick Mahomes is still the best. Andy Reid is still the best. The defense is still the best. Travis Kelce is still great. There has to be some consequences for the Chiefs for getting humiliated in the Super Bowl. That's just fair.
They were on the verge.
The consequence for the Chiefs getting humiliated in the Super Bowl is getting humiliated in the Super Bowl. That's the consequence. Trevor and I were just talking while the video was playing. I like Kevin Wildes a lot. Dude is extremely talented, witty, and is one of the best hosts in sports television. But this is about as bad of a take as I have heard in a very long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. He starts his take of being hesitant to saying that Andy Reid is a better coach than Nick Sirianni because Sirianni's team beating Andy Reid's in the most recent Super Bowl. But I'm guessing Wilds forgot that 3 Super Bowls ago, Andy beat Sirianni. And if we're going to base coaching greatness off an individual matchup, I can play that game as well. Doug Peterson beat Bill Belichick in the Philly Super Bowl. I guess currently unemployed Doug Peterson's a better coach than 6-time Super Bowl champion Bill Belichick. Am I right? Oh, Tom Coughlin beat Bill Belichick multiple times in the Super Bowl. Coughlin is clearly the better coach according to Wild's logic, right? I mean, shit. We all know, Trevor, that Barry Switzer was a better coach than Bill Cowher, right? I mean, that's a foregone conclusion. Then when Nick Wright closes in on his terrible take, Wilds then pivots and goes to the win percentage and how Sirianni has more wins than Andy since he began coaching, which was in 2021. Let's take a quick look at that, Trevor. We could. Let's put that on the screen. I have a graph for you guys. This is since 2021. Regular season record, 48-20. That's right under a 71 win percentage. Andy Reid, 56-16. Or 52-16, that's a win percentage of over 76%. So that is actually incorrect. But let's look at the postseason, shall we? Would you look at it? Sirianni, 9-6 with a Super Bowl win. Andy Reid, 11-2 with 2 Super Bowl wins. So no matter how you dice it or slice it, there is nothing factually correct about this. I think, like Trevor said just a minute ago, I think that Wilds got caught up on it because there is an actual stat out there that that Nick Sirianni in his career has the 3rd best win percentage of any coach ever. That's John Madden and somebody else. I totally forget, and I feel horrible not mentioning that person. But John Madden has the highest win percentage ever, and then there's somebody else, and then it's Nick Sirianni. That's fine. And you know what? Credit to Nick Sirianni. I've told you guys.
It's a 4-year sample, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was literally about to say. Credit to Nick Sirianni for what he's done in the short sample size. Because he has done an amazing job. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1.
With arguably the best roster in that span.
100%. And the best GM in the NFL, too. We got to also put that out there. Harry Roseman has been unbelievable.
Yep.
But you know what? Credit to Nick. Nick is the head coach.
His players like playing for him.
If we blame him for the losing, if let's say the Eagles did the opposite, we'd be blaming Nick Sirianni, and they'd be calling for his head. But because they win, you got to give them credit too. But for fuck's sake, we cannot do this compared to a head coach who's been coaching for 25 fucking years. Are we fucking kidding? What the hell are we doing? Like Kevin, and I quote tweeted Kevin the other day because he does this, and it is funny because he's a big Jalen Hurts defender, and as am I, because I think that Jalen Hurts, oftentimes gets shit on a little unfairly.
Yeah.
But Kevin Wilds keeps putting this out here. I'm going to find the tweet here real quick. Okay. He goes, so when other quarterbacks, I'm sorry, no, this is oh, damn it. This is a response. Yeah, okay. 35 days until kickoff. He does this like every 5 days. So it's like 40 days, 35 days, 30 days. 35 days until kickoff. Today, dozens of world's best quarterbacks wake up early, hit the gym, study tape, and spend time away from their families so that come February, the blood, sweat, and tears all pay off, and they can finally have a resume slightly worse than Jalen Hurts. It's funny. It's witty. I quote tweeted and said, 35 days until kickoff. Today, 31 of the world's best head coaches wake up early, hit the film room, study tape, and spend time away from their families so that come February, the blood, sweat, and tears all pay off so they can finally have a resume much worse than Andy Reid. Because that's the way I look at it, dude. If we're going to play that game and give Jalen Hurts this credit and say all these other quarterbacks don't have the resume they do and there's no question he's a top 10 quarterback, then I'm going to do the same damn thing for Andy Reid. Because since the day Andy Reid had a top-tier quarterback, what has he done? Oh, I don't know. Just put together the greatest dynasty we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. 7 consecutive years of dominance. We have never seen that in the history of the NFL. We have never seen a team go to 7 consecutive conference championship games. We have never seen a team outside of the 70 Steelers have this many Super Bowls in a row. We've never seen a team go to that many Super Bowls in a 5-year span outside of the 70 Steelers. What are we talking about? This is a non-starter, and I love Kevin Wilds, but if anybody actually agrees with this, you're going to have to do what Kevin Wilds is about to do, and that is hold this L. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was he backed himself into a corner, and I've been there. I've been even on this show in real life and arguing.
No, dude, he's the interim champion. Yeah. That means you have the belt.
Dude, that's why I can relate. I'm like, bro, I know exactly what's happening. I can read his body language. He's like, fuck, I put myself here. I'm gonna 10 toes down. I'm right. No, dude,
I'm going down with the shit.
I know exactly what was going on there. He knows he right instantly regret after the show was over. Nick was probably like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Bad, dude.
Yeah.
And I hate that the clip cut off right there because Mangini was actually making a really good point. He goes, I mean, Andy was on the verge of doing something no one else has ever done with winning 3 straight Super Bowls. You lost 1 game, and you were going to sit here and say he's not the best. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Let's talk about the guy who just won his first, let alone the guy who just went to his 3rd in a row. Yeah, who's better? Okay.
Oh, so bad, man. Wow. So bad. You know what's not bad is the fun we have here every day, or every week, rather. Man, you guys make it fun. I hope you guys had fun today. I'm so sorry for the freaking mic cutting out like that. I don't know what the hell happened, but we're going to get better at that. I'm sure I'm going to get crushed in the comments later when people watch the show afterwards. But that's okay. It's what we do here. It's the fun part of it all. But I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope you guys are ready for football because we're right here, man. Like, we're on the precipice of regular season starting up. We're now in August. Like, this is the dog days. It sucks. I hate this month. This is my least favorite month of the year. But you know what? Damn it. We're so much closer to the best time of the year. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's like literally like the darkest time before the dawn. And that's how it feels. And you're like, August sucks. It's hot as shit. There's nothing going on in the sports world outside of training camp, which isn't even real football, but it's something we can still talk about. And then right before you know, man, September hits and football starts. Man, I'm stoked. I hope you guys are stoked. Get us up on YouTube. Like I said, the Spoken Podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys. Chat with us. Hang out with us every single week. But for Trevor Twidwell, for the great Clay Windler that puts all this together on the back end of things at Red Tribe Cinema, for the entire Starcade Media family, I am Lance Twidwell. The Spoken Podcast, episode 321 is done, finished, and finito. And until we are back here in 1 week's time for episode 322, we out of this bitch.
Later.